This TV and this thing. Oh, come on. Don't. No, you don't.
Origins, and we're actually still at the Dice Hate Me booth here with TC, designer, Viva Java, and Viva Java Dice, which will be coming out soon. Yes, look at all the awesomeness. So TC, tell us just a little bit about Viva Java first, and then we'll go from there.
All right, for the people who don't know, Viva Java is one of the only coffee games, well actually the only coffee game that's has any strategic value, I guess. So it's a light to middleweight Euro strategy party mix game that kind of mixes a little bit of social gaming into a Euro style engine building game. And the cool thing about it is that you can play with up to 8 players, or 3 to 8 players, so it scales pretty well. And it's actually designed to play at 8 really well, so you want to play it a little more. And the cool thing about it is you have this mechanic where you place on the world map is going to determine what ability you receive. So if I placed here, I'd get 1 point immediately, and I'd also take this bean and place it into my own personal roaster. So everybody has their own personal roaster, and you're going to then split up into teams based on which region of the world you chose. So it's kind of cool because you'll be on a different team every single round, which is odd, I guess, for most games, especially a game like an engine, solitaire engine building kind of game. And then whenever you break up into teams, you can decide to blend or research. And everyone's going to vote at the same time. And the cool thing about that is that if you blend together, you're going to be pulling beans out of a bag randomly, blindly, with your partner or with your other teammates. So everyone has to contribute at least a little bit. So you do need to talk and make sure that you are doing the right things and getting on the right teams, which is different, I think, from most games that you have to be engaged. It forces you. And then also research. You break apart and you get to do your own thing. So you have, you can see here, all these different research tracks that you can build up yourself to make yourself a better teammate and make it so that you blend better, later. So building up those, investing in your research early is going to pay out later. All that stuff.
So there's almost like a co-op element to the game.
Semi-co-op in a different way, as opposed to just going, oh, we're cooperating now, but I got 1 more point than you at the end, so I win.
Right.
You're actually on a different team every single time, so it's semi-cooperative in the sense that you never really have a reason to screw everybody else over.
Right. It's kind of a temporary co-op.
Temporary alliances.
You can use it. So tell us about Viva Java Dice, and that is not yet on Kickstarter?
Not yet on Kickstarter, it'll be June 21st.
Okay.
So exclusive here at Origins, we have Chris just made up our first mock-up prototype with his art. This was still my art, but we're still working on everything. We'll have the art released here for the Kickstarter, nice and spruced up and everything. That's coming up, going over the next week. We have a nice custom dice, and the game is for 2 to 4 players. I think that's different because
you want to try Lucky Dice?
3 to 8. So
if you get the highest score of the day, you can win $20 in a free expansion for Carnival. So here's how it works, right? You roll 3 dice at a time. You're trying to make
4 players in 30 minutes. Probably about less with 2 players for sure. And the game itself borrows thematic elements, but it's a completely different game in itself. It's got that King of the Hill mechanic. You've seen originally Reiner Knizia use it in Escape, or King of Tokyo, I guess, uses it recently, where you make a blend And if it's the best blend when it gets back around to you, you're going to score big points. But to increase your blending, you're going to have to use research. And unlike most games, this is going to be like a classic take with the 5 dice. Unlike most games, you have research tracks that you have to build up. And each game is going to be different because the abilities that you use on these coasters are different.
Cool.
So every game is going to be different, and it'll come with different tokens to use different abilities. So it's crazy and variable.
Yeah.
So each game is going to be crazy.
So you, Viva Java is your first attempt at designing a game, or your first game at market at least?
First game at market, probably 7th game.
Okay.
So yeah, so I failed 6 times.
How did you get started designing games? What kind of spurred that on in you?
I have the really boring story of I played Settlers of Catan. Then I liked doing this, like board games. So I really got into like that whole Euro game style, German style board games. And when I got that, I got addicted. And since I had already been a writer and I have an English degree, I really liked the idea of creative interaction between players. So the things that I liked the most were just those things that we find in like Puerto Rico or something, where I do something and it affects everybody. Like I get to interact with you, and it's not just me take my turn, then you. Kind of get that interaction. So I've carried that through and kept designing.
Great.
Failed a lot. So.
Well, failure just is the next step to success, right?
Exactly.
So what do you do with a BA in English?
I deal at a casino.
Awesome. So we were just talking about this.
Yeah.
Did you ever like caught somebody cheating or like counting cards or like having aces up their sleeves or anything like that?
See, I've never gotten a really, really bad one, but there's always those people that want to cheat. And you always, like we were saying, you just go, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You actually can't add to your bet after you've placed it." Or, "I'm sorry, sir, you can't have an ace up your sleeve. That's just not allowed."
Yeah.
But I'll give that one back. You have to be PC. It's very cool.
Great.
Customer service.
Yes, it's all about service. So where can we find you on the internet? You're on Twitter?
Twitter, at Puppy Shogun on Twitter. Also, I'm doing, my blog is like Designer Ego with TC Petty. Okay. So you can check me out on Tumblr.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for showing Viva Java and Viva Java Dice hitting Kickstarter next week, June 21st. I'm Jeremiah Isley with Theology of Games. He's TC Petty with Viva Java, and we're at Origins. Thanks. Cool, man.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.